direct hit on an important sewage farm. Credit shared between the pilot and the bomb aimer. They both knew their job. He knew how to use his bomb sight. He knew how to fly to make accurate bombing. This film is made to help you both. The Mk XIV bomb sight consists of two main components. First, the computer unit, which calculates the sighting angle. Second, the sighting head, on which the sighting angle is continuously set. It is through this which you, the bomb aimer, look at the target. This is what you see. The long line is the drift line, which shows you the points on the ground over which the aeroplane is going to fly, or the line on which the aeroplane is tracking over the ground. The short cross line shows you when to drop the bomb to hit the target. All you have to do is to tell your pilot to steer the aeroplane so that the target comes down the drift line. It reaches the release point, bomb gone, target gone. That looks simple, doesn't it? Well, if you do all the things you should do, it is simple. We don't want to go into the theory of bombing too deeply, and we won't bother now about how the Mk XIV bomb sight works. For the moment, we'll concentrate on what you've got to do with the aeroplane in order to bomb the target, what the bomb sight does to help you, and how to use it. You will remember that when you release a bomb from your aeroplane, it goes on moving forward at almost the same speed as the aeroplane until it hits the ground. The direction it goes in is the same direction that the aeroplane was flying when the bomb was released. In order to bomb the target, then, you must release your bomb when you are the right distance away from the target, and you must be tracking towards it. A line from the target to the release point defines the sighting angle. You can attack the target from any direction. And if you attack at the same height and speed from each direction, using the same class of bomb, you will find that all the release points form a circle. You will find, too, that at the moment of cutting this circle, the aeroplane is always pointing towards the center. Actually, the target is at the center of the circle only when there is no wind. When a wind is blowing, that is, when the whole mass of air in which the aeroplane is flying is moving over the surface of the earth, the center of the circle is at an imaginary point upwind of the target. To bomb the target, therefore, your pilot has to make the aeroplane track towards it at the moment of release, instead of pointing at it. We'll say more about that later. You know, of course, that the angle between your course through the air and your track on the ground is the drift angle. The radius of this imaginary circle depends on, first, the speed you are flying when you approach the target, second, how high you attack, third, whether you climb or glide. But at all costs, don't forget that whatever direction you attack, as you cross your own particular release circle, you must be tracking at the target, and you must release the bomb as you cut the circle. It doesn't matter how you get to the release point or what you do after release, as long as you are tracking straight for the target at the instant of release. Well, now let's get back to the bomb sight. If you had no bomb sight at all, you could still make an attack on the target, but you would be almost certain to do one or both of two things: to track along the wrong line, and to press the button either too soon or too late. Well, the whole object of the Mk XIV bomb sight is to tell you how to approach the release point and where that point is. The drift line of the graticule shows you your track along the ground, and the short release line shows you when to release. In fact, the intersection of these two lines shows you at any time the point on which a bomb will fall when you release it. When objects on the ground are seen to pass continuously along the drift line of the graticule, it is clear that the angle between this line and the aircraft heading is the drift angle. Now you know that the drift angle experienced on any course depends on your airspeed and the direction and the speed of the wind. You will remember, too, how all these variable factors may be represented in a triangle of velocities. It will be seen how the drift angle is altered, first by a change of airspeed, second by a change of course, third by a change of wind speed, and fourth by a change of wind direction. Now let us see how the Mk XIV computer unit takes each of these factors into account. First, the airspeed. The computer unit has its own airspeed indicator built into it, which continuously sets the airspeed into the mechanism. Secondly, the course. The computer unit has its own course-setting mechanism, which is driven by the distance reading compass, so that the new course is correctly set into the computer every time your pilot makes a turn. Thirdly, wind speed. This is put manually into the computer on this knob. Fourthly, wind direction. This also is set by hand. These settings must be made before you reach your target. From this information, the computer works out the correct drift angle and rotates a flexible shaft which is connected to the fixed base of the sighting head. The upper part of the sighting head is thus set automatically round on its pivot to the correct drift angle. The drift angle is shown on this scale. Thus, the drift line on the sighting head is automatically and continuously swung round to the right drift angle for the particular course on which you are flying. The drift line gives to you, the bomb aimer, a continuous indication of your track along the ground. Should it be found when approaching the target area that objects do not pass directly down the drift line, but move across it at an angle, it may be assumed that the wind settings require correction. Using the navigational computer Mk XIV for wind computing, the first setting required is airspeed. This is obtained from the pilot, say 200 miles an hour, and set under the center point here. Now read your course, 080 degrees, and set it onto the bearing plate scale of the navigational computer. Next, obtain an accurate drift reading. To obtain this, unlock the upper part of the sighting head by the release lever, here. The sighting head can now be turned by hand until the drift line of the graticule is made parallel with the apparent movement of objects on the ground. The drift angle may now be obtained from the drift scale, 10 degrees of port drift, and conveyed to the navigational computer. This line represents 10 degrees of port drift, and a pencil line should be drawn along it. Now, get your pilot to alter course, either way, by about 60 degrees. When steady, set the new course reading onto the bearing plate scale of the navigational computer. Then rotate the sighting head until you pick up the new drift. See that objects on the ground are again made to pass accurately along the drift line before reading the second drift. 5 degrees, again port. Pick out the appropriate line for 5 degrees port drift and mark its intersection of the pencil line already drawn. This intersection is the wind point, and when it is turned to a position immediately below the center point, the wind speed may be read by its distance from the index along the wind speed scale. Wind speed 35 miles an hour. Wind direction is read from the bearing plate scale. Wind direction 166 degrees. This new information of wind speed and wind direction should now be set on the computer unit. Wind speed 35 miles an hour. Wind direction 166 degrees. Don't forget to return the release lever to the lock position and to ensure that the upper portion of the sighting head is engaged with the spring stud. Now let's consider the release point. In the computer unit, the combination of course, airspeed, and wind is used not only to produce the drift angle, but also to determine the ground speed and to feed this continuously into the mechanism. To get the sighting angle, we've got to take into account the ground speed and the height. The height of the aeroplane is measured automatically in the computer unit by an altimeter. Since the height we want to know for bombing is your height above the target, there are two knobs here, on one of which you set the barometric pressure at sea level, on the other you set the height of the target above sea level. The altimeter then measures the height above the target. What happens is this. First, your correction for barometric pressure adjust the Bombsight altimeter to indicate your height above sea level. Then, your correction for target height reduces the altimeter reading to give the proper bombing height. Remember that when the target height is set on the computer, your height scale shows your height above the target and not your height above sea level. Now you know that air resistance throws up some bombs more than others. They trail more behind their parent bomber as they fall. The difference of trail has to be taken into account when calculating the sighting angle. So the Mk14 computer is provided with a knob and a TV scale for setting the terminal velocity of whatever bomb you are using. Make this setting before the takeoff to make sure that it is not forgotten. The remaining point which the computer takes into account is whether the aeroplane is climbing, gliding, or flying level. This is done by means of a gyroscope inside the computer, which measures the angle of climb or glide. The computer takes this angle into account in calculating the sighting angle. Another flexible shaft comes out of the computer unit and runs to the sighting head, where it continuously sets the sighting angle. The bomb aimer's view of the target is seen through a piece of glass, which is, in effect, a mirror. Rays of light from a lamp in this collimator tube pass through a cross-shaped graticule and shine down onto the glass. From here, they are reflected back into your eye. At whatever angle the collimator is set, the graticule is reflected back at an equal and opposite angle. Notice that you may have to move your head to see the graticule, which of course appears to be projected on the ground. The computer unit always sets the collimator to give the sighting angle for those conditions of speed, height, and glide at which you are flying. If you change any of these conditions, the computer responds and moves the collimator so that the graticule is seen along the proper line of sight. Notice the effect of an increase of height on the angle of the collimator. Notice, too, the effect of a TV setting on the angle of the collimator, and the effect of suiting the computer unit as when bombing in a glide. We have seen that on any course, the graticule drift line shows where the aeroplane will track along the ground. it will frequently be necessary to shift the graticule forward to put the drift line on the target earlier. You do this by moving this handle, which moves the collimator against the spring. The illuminated cross is thus moved forward, away from the position set by the computer. Don't forget, though, that in this new position, the short line of the graticule does not give the right release point. It will not do so until you let go the handle. If you look closely at the sighting head reflector, you will see that it is pivoted. The reflector is linked up to a gyroscope in this black case. The illuminated cross, which you see on the mirror, is thereby made to stay in the vertical plane below your aeroplane, even when you are banked. This is achieved by linking the reflector to the gyroscope so that the reflector rotates through half the bank angle of the aeroplane. As the collimator, being fixed to the aeroplane, goes through the whole bank angle, and the reflector through half, the reflected line of sight stays vertical. This arrangement is given to you so that even though taking avoiding action, you can approach the target without losing your line of sight. You may even release your bombs on a correctly made turn, because your line of sight, unaffected by the banking of the aeroplane, gives you a continuous indication of where your bombs will fall. A plan view makes it clear that the direction taken by the bomb is the direction of your track at the moment of release. If your plane of sight were not stabilized, it would bank with the aeroplane and give no indication of where your bombs would fall. Never touch the reflector with the gyro running. Even the light pressure of a map is sufficient to upset the gyro. As long as you fly on the same course, you may not notice anything amiss. But as soon as you alter course, you will see the reflector scooted over to a wrong angle. As you must wait about 20 minutes for the gyro to re-erect itself, the moral is, don't touch the reflector. The sighting head is made proof against the effects of vibration by a shock-absorbing mounting. But you must realize what a large error can be caused by careless pressure on the sighting head. Now let's give the bomb aimer a rest and talk to the pilot. Pilot, don't forget that the sole purpose of the bomb sight is to show your bomb aimer how to direct you to fly the aeroplane up to the release point. The bomb sight is not a magic box. It will give you the right answer only for attitudes between 5 degrees of climb and 20 degrees of glide. You can, however, climb or glide to as much as 40 degrees without upsetting the gyros. Although by pushing the stick forward, you can push the nose of the aeroplane down very quickly, it loses height relatively slowly and gathers speed relatively slowly. But the Mk 14 bomb sight takes an appreciable time to set the new sighting angle after a sudden change of attitude. This is the rate at which it does so. It can, however, keep pace with changes of height and airspeed easily enough. Don't forget that although you can bomb accurately on a glide, you must not alter the aeroplane's attitude just before a leap. So remember not to do this just before your bomb aimer has to do this. The next point is making turns. The bomb sight makes the assumption that you will always fly the aeroplane through the air in the same direction as its nose is pointing. If you fly badly and make the aeroplane side slip in flat or skidding turns, you will introduce large errors. So always make properly banked turns, but don't exceed a bank angle of 60 degrees or you will upset the gyros. A medium bomber may not have a DR compass. In this case, either you or one of your crew will have to help the bomb aimer by setting the course into the computer unit by hand. By turning this handle, you can make this dial agree with the reading of your directional gyro. This action will have set the course on the computer unit and have given the bomb sight the information it requires. The accuracy of the attack depends very largely on the setting which you make for wind. If the wind speed is large, or you are flying high, you must make a special adjustment to the wind speed to convert it from true wind to indicated wind. Ask your instructor about this. Don't forget that when the course is shown as magnetic, the wind direction must be set as magnetic. Course true, wind direction true. Close attention to the reading of the airspeed scale will disclose that at certain speeds it gives a reading different from the pilot's airspeed indicator. This is intentional and results from the fact that the computer airspeed indicator makes allowance for position errors and other factors. Certain of the settings on the bomb sight should be made before taking off. Set sea level pressure at target. Set target height. Set bomb TV. Set wind speed and wind direction. During flight, these settings should be kept up to date. Finally, when approaching the target area, turn on the air supply. Switch on the computer unit switch. Switch on the gratitude. When pilots and bomb aimers each played their part in the use of the Mk 14 bomb sight, bombing is almost as simple as